when we find the edge of that comfort zone, we get to move in ways that feel better to us. We get to breathe in ways that feel better to us. And by finding that essence, I can have some people breathe faster and feel better, and I can have some people breathe slower and feel better, and they get that steady work done and untie all those patterns of doing things the way they're supposed to instead of the way that it felt best.
Hello and welcome to Season 2 of Unlock Potential. I'm Brian Delaney. Our focus this season is fitness. I'll be joined by Dr. Duvall, who's going to guide us through his protocol for getting into your best shape so we can live our best lives and serve others well.
Feeling good, no major symptoms of the body, not a ton of energy right now. So I'm going to take on the daily original work. Today that is 18 minutes. We're going to do 5 exercises. I'm going to bike. Then I'm going to go from laying face up to a kneeling position. I'm going to go and do some double unders with the jump rope. I'm going to be sitting on the ground and getting up to standing. And I'm going to carry a dumbbell overhead. So today starts with a bike for 30 calories. It'll take a minute or two to work my way there. Then I'll transition. I'm going to lay face up on the ground. And without using my arms, and by using only one leg on the ground, I'm going to get up to a kneeling position. Then I'll do some jump rope, where the rope goes under my feet twice for every jump. And then again, without using my arms, and using only one leg on the ground, I'm going to go from sitting up to standing. Then I'll put a 95-pound dumbbell overhead with one hand. I'll carry it the length of the gym, and I'll do rounds of that for 18 minutes. I felt good going through that. It was 18 minutes. I got just over 2 rounds. I didn't feel any tension in my breathing area during the limber test. But about partway through, I could definitely feel that was the limiting factor for me today. About 6 or 9 months after I started CrossFit, back in 2007, my asthma symptoms started coming back, and I found that I would finish a workout like that and was unable to carry a conversation for 20 or 30 minutes afterwards. And it's been quite a journey to figure out how to find the right dose of exercise, and I've had to go through periods where it was increased. I realized that was not the direction I wanted to go, working on decreasing it, and have felt really successful with that the last 8 years or so. Yeah, mostly feeling tension around the rib cage, and that suggests that I take on steady work. So I'm gonna pull up the app and see what's up. All right, for me, that'll be a 1-arm kettlebell chest carry. So I'm going to carry a kettlebell against my chest. I'll use a 35-pound kettlebell and go for 12 minutes, working and resting as I need to. Just keeping track of that total distance. As I'm carrying this against my chest, I can feel like the sense of suffocation that sometimes happens. I find that if I arch a little bit more, that pressure goes off of the chest, and then I start to feel some fatigue in the middle of my back. So the muscles back there pulling down on the back of the ribs in order to lift them up. Over time, that process increases the enzymes that allow those muscles to get more done with less energy, which means I can carry for a longer distance easier, and I don't have to eat as much food in order to support that energy supply. And that's really the big goal of this steady work today. Not feeling that tension in the mid-back anymore. Now I'm feeling some tension in the lower abdomen. As I was arching back on that last set, I could feel that I was breathing and putting strain on some of the upper abs here. And so as that started to get uncomfortable, taking another break. So when I looked at my app and saw that one-arm kettlebell chest carry was up next, I actually flashed quite quickly to a little bit of fear and resistance because I remembered that heavy feeling on the chest, and I did not want to experience that again. And so while I was going through those carries in the middle, I realized that there was a couple of CrossFit competition workouts. One in particular that I remember, where I had two 70-pound kettlebells, one on each arm against my chest, and I did a series of exercises that way. And I really went into an intensely suffering place, forcing myself to get very uncomfortable as I was doing those reps, finishing the workout, completely exhausted and feeling like I was suffocating most of that time. And I remember the sentiment was that you were supposed to feel that way. And I was capable of it. And at the same time, it built more and more resistance to me even going back to that place. And burnout, evening asthma symptoms, resistance to exercise, those are not things that breed longevity. And doing this one, adjusting when I started to feel uncomfortable, allowed me to really challenge other parts of the musculature as opposed to just more and more suffering with that weight against my chest. I feel fantastic after finishing it. I'll do the limber test and see what's up next. As I'm doing the limber test, I feel a lot of tension around the rib cage and shoulder girdle as I'm reaching up, but energy-wise, I feel fantastic. Though that resistance on the way up is the main thing that I'm experiencing. That's going to lead me to more steady work. So I pull up my app. I'm going to get up on top of a 20-inch box. I'm going to hold a 20-pound medicine ball against my shoulder, and I'll repeat reps there for 10 minutes. one of the primary factors that I've tried to do in creating the Stay Active method is simplify everything down to the essence so that we have the most power with our change. And, breathing is coming up a lot for me today. Could be partly the humidity, but ultimately I've had multiple injuries and some really chronic illness with my lungs, and my body goes through different seasons where each of those becomes the main thing I'm focusing on. But today, as we're going through breathing, as I was recovering from those box mounts right there, I found myself breathing and heaving my chest. And I did that because it felt more comfortable than keeping my chest steady. Now, I was told when I was younger, breathe through your belly to calm yourself. And so I would follow instructions very well, and I would focus on breathing into my belly. And it was so uncomfortable, and it would make me feel more of that suffocation in my chest. But if I focus when I'm doing my steady work, not on calming myself, but in staying comfortable, there are times where if I breathe into my belly, it's more comfortable. And there are times where if I breathe into my chest, it's more comfortable. And so in that steady work, in that long duration work, I was told to calm myself, but that was not correct. I needed to find comfort. And so when we find the edge of that comfort zone, we get to move in ways that feel better to us. We get to breathe in ways that feel better to us. And by finding that essence, I can have some people breathe faster and feel better, and I can have some people breathe slower and feel better, and they get that steady work done and untie all those patterns of doing things the way they're supposed to instead of the way that it felt best. Now, once that foundation is built for steady work and your body starts feeling great or energized or irritated or frustrated or angry and you have this intense energy, then we got to start focusing on how we move because the risk goes up. We've got some other videos where we talk about movement cue priorities, what to pay attention to so that you move in a way that's safe for your body now and gives you good performance in the long run. Appreciate you all following along. You can keep subscribing, keep following, checking the channel. Follow Unlock Potential 360 on YouTube. Hop on Instagram and follow Stay Active Method. Reach out. We're starting this movement and you can join Stay Active.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Unlock Potential. Follow us across all socials at Unlock Potential 360 and visit our website at unlockpotential360.com to shop our gear and see what's coming up next.
The information and views expressed by our host or guests on the Unlock Potential podcast are their own, and not a substitute for professional medical or fitness advice. Always consult with qualified healthcare or fitness professionals before starting any new exercise program or making changes to your current routine.